After being delayed quite a bit, Venom Let There Be Carnage is finally out in theaters. I saw the movie 2 days ago, but I just never got a chance to review it, so this is going to be my spoiler-free review for Venom Let There Be Carnage. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Arjun, and Venom Let There Be Carnage is the sequel to the first Venom movie from 2018. This was a movie I was really looking forward to because I enjoy the first movie quite a bit. And Andy Serkis was directing this one, and Tom Hardy's of course returning as Eddie Brock and Venom. So I was really looking forward to seeing what they were going to do with this movie. And also, adding Carnage into the mix makes things better. So before I get started talking about Venom Let There Be Carnage, let me know down in the comments, what do you guys think of the movie? If you have not seen it yet, let me know if you're excited, and what do you think of the first movie? I'd love to know your thoughts. With that said, let's get started with my review, and I thought that this movie was very entertaining. I know it's stupid, but it entertained me throughout the entire time. I want to start off by saying that I'm someone that really enjoys the first Venom. I don't think it's great. It's not one of my favorite comic book movies of all time, but it's one of those movies that I just watch to be entertained by. And whenever I see the movie, I'm just really entertained, and I have a lot of fun with the stupid stuff that's in it. And there's some really cool action in it as well. So I really enjoy the first Venom. And this movie just kind of doubles down on what I like about the first movie. You have more of that Eddie and Venom banter that you want. And the funny comedy between them is really fun. And especially as you kind of go into the middle of the movie, that really comes into play. And I really enjoyed that. I think Tom Hardy is still great as Eddie, and his voice as Venom is just perfect. And whenever he's kind of talking to himself, you can buy that he's talking to someone that exists inside of him. And it's kind of weird the way it plays out in the movie, but I could buy the fact that he's trying to talk to someone that lives inside of his body. And he always made it believable. It never felt off-putting to me. It always felt like it made sense, and his acting really worked in the movie for me. I also thought the other side characters were fine. They were pretty enjoyable. Of course, our villain here is Carnage, or Cletus Cassidy, played by Woody Harrelson. I thought Cletus Cassidy was really good. I thought he was a really well-written character, and I really kind of understood at some points where he was coming from. He's of course a serial killer, so I wasn't rooting for him anytime in the movie, but I did think the backstory that they gave him, and even though it was not too much, just the tiny hints of story that they gave him made me kind of gravitate towards his character a little bit, and Woody Harrelson really played him well as well. Now, Shriek is also in this movie as kind of like a love interest to Cletus Cassidy, and she's kind of just there. I didn't really like her. She's just there kind of as a plot device, I guess. She doesn't have as big of a role in the movie as I thought she would, but I thought that was fine because I wasn't really looking forward to her character anyway, because I don't read the comics and I really don't know anything about her character. I would have liked to see more though, because I thought her her superpowers were interesting, and the way they could kind of weaken Venom and Carnage I thought was interesting. I would have liked to see more of that, but I thought it was fine either way. Michelle Williams is of course back as Anne, and I thought she was actually pretty good here. I liked her more here than the first Venom movie, because in the middle she actually has kind of an important role. Not too much of an important role, but she does. She's kind of necessary for the plot, and even in the third act, in the final battle, she does kind of have a pretty significant role, which is why I enjoyed her here more than I did in the first movie, where she just felt like she was kind of there. Of course, Dan is here. He's kind of just there for comedic relief, and I thought he was fun enough. He was just kind of there whenever we kind of wanted to sprinkle some comedy here and there, and just his reaction to seeing Venom and Carnage and stuff, I thought was really funny. I also thought the action in this movie was fantastic. It was just great. It was really cool to look at, and you could actually see what's going on. One of my criticisms of the final battle in the first Venom movie is that you can barely see what's going on. Both the symbiotes are black in color, and it's taking place in the dark, so you can't, whenever they're fighting, you can barely make out what's going on, and it's shot in a really weird way where you can barely see what's happening. Here though, it's all shot really well. There's good enough lighting for you to understand what's happening, and the fight sequences are very thrilling to watch, and as you go into the final battle, there's just a lot of fun stuff there between Carnage and Venom. Also, if you haven't seen the movie yet, stick around for that post-credit scene. I don't know how I forgot to mention it, but that was a great post-credit scene, so stick around, watch it, do not skip this one. Now, as much as I enjoyed the stupidity and just the absurd nature of the movie, I did have some criticisms of it, so I'm going to go into some of my issues right now. I thought the visual effects and CGI in the movie were a little off, especially with like some sequences with Venom, especially in like the first half of the movie. I don't know why, but it just felt kind of off. It felt like a little bit incomplete. It did not feel like completed CGI. And I get that it's kind of hard to do and stuff, but I feel like they could have worked on it a little bit because it just kind of pulled me out of the movie a few times. I thought that Carnage needed more character development. I thought Cletus Cassidy was great, and I thought Woody Harrelson played him really well. But the symbiote itself, Carnage itself, I feel like could have had more development because he just kind of felt like a generic bad guy. He did not feel like he actually had anything to go against Venom. It was really Cletus Cassidy that I understood where he was coming from, but Carnage just kind of wanted to fight Venom for some reason, and I did not understand why. Now, don't get me wrong, I really liked him in the action sequences. He had some really cool sequences, and some of the scenes with him were actually pretty dark, and I was surprised that they put them in a PG-13 movie. But as much as I enjoyed him in the action scene, and as brutal as he was, I need to have some sort of character development with him, but he barely had any development, which is kind of one of the issues that I had, one of the big issues I had with this movie. I also thought that the movie felt a little too rushed. I feel like adding 10 to 20 minutes in the movie would have helped flesh things out a little bit better. Maybe that way Carnage could have gotten more development or something. Because when I was watching the movie, it just felt like action scene and a bunch of jokes. It felt like just a compacted movie without any fleshing out. And I understand that's what they were going for, but at least giving some sort of development to Carnage by adding like 10 minutes of the movie, I feel like would have helped kind of flesh things out a little bit more. And I would have probably paid attention and enjoyed the movie more than I already did. And I already enjoyed the movie quite a bit. So yeah, overall, Venom Let There Be Carnage, it's not a masterpiece. I'm not going to look back on this movie in a year and go, this is one of my favorite comic book movies of all time. But it was definitely an entertaining time, and I had a blast watching this movie in theater. And if you guys enjoyed the first Venom movie, I feel like you definitely enjoyed this one. If you're looking for a recommendation, then definitely check it out. I feel like you'll enjoy it. And a lot of people that didn't like the first Venom were also enjoying this one, so maybe, who knows, maybe even if you didn't like the first movie, you'll still like this one. But yeah, overall, I understand that this is a stupid, dumb movie, but it was just too much fun for me to not enjoy it. With all that being said, I'm going to give Venom Let There Be Carnage a B because it's a B movie, but on an entertainment scale, I'm going to go all the way up to an 8.25 out of 10. I found it very entertaining, and I understand that it's not the most well-made film, but it was entertaining enough for me to give it a positive review, so that's why I really enjoyed Venom Let There Be Carnage. So let me know down in the comments, what did you guys think of this movie? If you haven't seen it yet, are you excited to check it out? And what do you think of the first Venom? I'd love to know your thoughts. If you enjoyed my review, be sure to leave a like. It really helps me out. And subscribe to my channel for more content like this. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.